Okay, test. Can you hear me now? Okay, test. Okay. Can you hear me now? I can hear some audio coming back, so I think somebody may be able to hear me. Okay. I'll have to make sure I don't get any feedback happening here. Anyway, very good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, depending on where you are. And thank you for joining us on the Icelandic volcano eruption day 16. It is Easter Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday to everyone out there. And we will see what happens. Anyway, the big question everybody's always been asking is, where is the lava going? And I thought I would give you a little bit of a demonstration or help you out with understanding what it's doing and where it can potentially go and what the experts have come up with. And this is not me saying this. This is what the experts basically have relayed. And it's actually quite interesting. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, right now they're actually showing, on the other cam, they're actually showing one of the ends of the valley. And if you, you'll get to see it in a second here, where it'll end up in the top right-hand corner there. That's basically the end of the valley, where it has to lift up a little bit before it can get over it. So anyway, in the meantime, we're just going to look at the close-ups here. I'll let them finish with the tour on the cam before I'll get into this. That way we can enjoy looking at the close-ups of the lava coming right from the vents. Love that flow. Little thinner today on Bob. Yesterday was a little bit wider, but that flow is still moving pretty darn good. And as far as the other side, looking at Bob Jr., who's made himself a much larger spout, if you will. He's lost his front wall from what we see. And I think a real good burp out of there will probably wash away the front leading edge and cause more lava to spill directly out. But we'll see how that goes. Oh, there's some starting to flow now. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. This is pretty cool to be able to watch it this close. And I really do like it. Okay, they're zooming back a little bit. They'll probably leave the camera right about there. So I'm going to switch it to the diagram that I was going to show you. And here we go. So I've pulled up the photo, and this is more an aerial photo from that corner that I was referring to where the lava has stopped, that we can just barely see at the edge of the thing. And I will actually draw on the screen so you can see where I'm referring to. And what we were looking at was down, and it'll take a few seconds for you to see it as I'm saying it and scribbling on the screen. So it was down on that end where we're potentially looking at where it may flow out. But just to give you the frame of reference, the camera that we were viewing it from, which is the RUV.is camera, and it's over here somewhere. The other camera, or View 2, or Cam 2 as it's being called, is further down somewhere in the cloud, almost by the volcano here, but somewhere around there, in where that second circle is. And I'm just going to clear these little circles off, and we'll keep going here and show you the potential flow. So let's get in here. Where's my clear thing? Okay, clear that off. Okay, so what's happening is as that valley starts to fill up, and it's going to take a little bit yet before it gets to an overflow point. The back end where the cameras were are somewhat higher ground, and the potential area that we're looking for an overflow is down on the bottom on this end, and of course the other side here. This one is high, so it may be secondary. Okay, higher ground. I'm just going to put higher there just to give you the idea. But the potential flow, if it did go this way, it will fill in the bigger valley that is to the east of it. Okay. Now, if it does flow down through this area, and this is the more likely scenario that it will go that way, down on the bottom corner here where the two arrows are. And that is only after the level has increased in the rest of the basically valley here, if that's what we want to call it. Now that all looks pretty good, but it kind of makes you wonder, okay, where is it actually going to go yet? So we'll get to the next photo. I'm going to clear the screen of directions first, and we'll move to the next photo, and that should be this guy here. Okay, so this, let me get my whiteboard working here. Okay. Oh, why is my whiteboard not working? Anyway, we'll try it again. Okay, that should work now, I hope. Anyhow, as we can see, our crater, Gellingdar, boy, I'm going to blow this pronunciation, Gellingdar, that's actually our crater, and actually the 6.8 million cubic meters is what the valley here that we were just looking at is basically capable of holding before we have an outflow situation. So what's happening is where you see the Scaro, if I said that correctly, outcrop, that was the secondary one that is a little bit higher. And if you look at the bottom of that, you see where the larger green area is, and that is where the outflow will likely take place in that little V, if you will. I'm going to see, yeah, right there. Okay, that's where the outflow will likely take place. Let's see if I can draw it a little bit better. So it's got a potential of going this way or this way and filling the lake up. So you have two possibilities of this being filled. Now, this guy here, the big one with the 44.7 million cubic meter capacity, once it gets to that level, it will be basically an equilibrium of what the 6.8 is, and cause the flow to go south or towards the water. So that's when we'll see the smaller lake down below fill up, or I should say smaller valley down below fill up prior to it pushing on out to the valley. So essentially what it's going to end up doing is going this direction. Now, there is also a possibility that depending on how the blockage is and so on, that we have a flow coming this way. And if that's the case, it would take quite some time for anything to get down into the ocean, but it would definitely take a fairly easy path, but it will spread out. So it's got a lot of area to cover there. I'm thinking the likely is going to be our original scenario here, the one that's really getting colored over. That's what I think is going to happen. And we may have, and it all depends on what's right here in this Y. If we have the flow, this guy may fill up first. So anyhow, that's kind of the scenario, and hopefully gives you guys a little bit of more of an idea of what was actually happening. And I'm going to look back at the screen now, see if anybody's got any questions about my scribble on the map. And sorry for the pronunciations, I am not very good at speaking Icelandic. Thank you. So, oh, did you guys get all that? Thanks, guys, and happy Easter. Okay, anyhow, I'll put us back to regular viewing. You guys can always go back and review this if you like. And we'll get the scribbles off the screen so you can get a better idea of what's what. And credit on the map goes to the guy at the bottom of the name there. I think it's actually from one of the universities there in Iceland, and they did a fine job. And we'll get rid of that guy for now as soon as I can find him. There, and there was the original field of view, and like I say, we were out on the far end is where the camera views are coming from, looking at it on a, I guess, easterly angle. Yep, that's Mr. Bob from the backside. Okay, let's get back to our volcano. And I'll turn the microphone off for now, and we'll do a little more critique. Boy, I can't even say it anymore. I got 12 mubbles. I'm balking backwards. My merds are all wixed. It's all right. I'll be okay. Talk to you guys in a bit. Fill up, or I should say smaller valley down below, fill up prior to it pushing on out to the valley. So essentially what it's going to end up doing is going this direction. Now, there is also a possibility that depending on how the blockage is and so on, that we have a flow coming this way. And if that's the case, it would take quite some time for anything to get down into the ocean, but it would definitely take a fairly easy path, but it will spread out. So it's got a lot of area to cover there. I'm thinking the likely is going to be our original scenario here, the one that's really getting colored over. That's what I think is going to happen. And we may have, and it all depends on what's right here in this Y. If we have the flow, this guy may fill up first. So anyhow, that's kind of the scenario, and hopefully gives you guys a little bit of more of an idea of what was actually happening. And I'm going to look back at the screen now, see if anybody's got any questions about my scribble on the map. And sorry for the pronunciations. I am not very good at speaking Icelandic. Thank you. So, oh, did you guys get all that? Okay, guys, I hope that's back on. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or something.
Guys,
I gotta shut my volume down here so I don't get feedback. I hope that's good. Anyway, we wanted to address that smoke that's coming out of the back of the cone on the back side. So I'm just going to see if we can work through this. Give me a few seconds. I gotta shift things around and make things work in the right direction for me. Okay. Let's see, where are we here? No, not that guy, not this guy. We'll try that guy. Okay, so paste new layer. All right. Okay, so now looking at this, you see the little bit of a plume of smoke on the back there. I'm going to see if we can circle it so you can see it. Okay, so that smoke on the back that's coming out of there, that can be troublesome. Oh, sorry, doodle. Anyway, that's where the smoke is. So now potentially, if that goes back there, we'll bring up that other picture here for a second and kind of go in on this one. So looking at the other aerial shot here, I'm going to kind of indicate where that smoke is, and that's coming from the back side here somewhere. Okay, now if that goes back there, the hot spot, it's potentially going to fill this area up even more, okay, till it gets to its equilibrium in the back end here. And then, so once all that is filled up, I doubt that it's going to spill over on this side, so that's going to be a no-go for now, because gravity is going to take over and the flow will end up coming this way. And of course we'll have flow back that way to level everything out. That's if this has a potential of doing that, if it pops open on the back here. So look for it to fill up first in that bigger area, and then the flow likely going towards what will be the lower exit, which is more down here, and to level out the other areas that are over on this end yet. It really needs to kind of bring everything up to an even level before we get it pouring out down in our big spout down on the bottom here. So hopefully that's a fairly decent explanation for you guys, and you can understand that. I don't know, I'll throw it out. If anybody's got some questions, by all means do ask, and I'll clear that off and go back to our volcano, and we'll clear that guy off. He looks kind of cute, but we'll get rid of him. There you go. I can't draw Godzilla. Sorry. Yes, that was the lower area that I pointed to. It definitely is. I'll throw that back up there. Um, Potentially, this is going to be the outflow area down on the bottom, where we have the arrow. That's what I'm guessing, and depending on what happens with the flow, it may go fill that valley back there, or it will flow the other direction out towards the smaller valley, and then potentially out towards the ocean. So it's got a long ways to go before it does anything. No, Red Rover, I did not hear if they had a plan as per se. I'm gonna be a little bit optimistic. You know, one of the things that they were saying the valley was going to be filled with within 18 days, and that's based on the 6.4 million cubic meters that they would be able to put into it before it outflowed. I think they're a little bit low on their estimates there. But then again, I'm not there and I didn't measure it, so I can't confirm that. But if it does outflow from the main crater or bowl area here, and it does proceed to fill up that valley to the north, that being over 44 million cubic meters will take quite some time because, like we said before, the flow rate is about 5 meters per second, cubic meters per second, coming out of that volcano. So it's going to take some time to fill that other valley if it does in fact go that way first. So 44 million cubic meters at 5 cubic meters per second. You do the math, it's going to take a while, guys. Then after that, then the potential of blockage there will force it to go south towards the water. But it has to go through the other valley first and fill that before it can go. But as I stated before in the if we can bring that other picture back up, I'm going to try this. Where is it here? Lava map. This one. So as I was saying earlier, so the flow is going to be out of here, and if it heads directly this way, you know, you're not going to have this guy fill up in the back unless you get some blockage right in here. And again, this area here is the critical part of how long before it'll reach the ocean. Because if this is actually lower by a few feet or whatever and doesn't get blocked up, it will take the flow, and our big Maradala lake up on the top here. This guy up on the top with the 44.7 million cubic meter capacity will probably stay empty. So it's all dependent on that central area. Okay, looking back at the screen here, see what other questions you had here. Filled with hot dogs? No, we can't do that. Okay. Just reading up on some of these real quick. yes, the lava will eventually go south. It has no option, okay? But that basically means that majority of the area all has to come to that equilibrium, or the elevation has to be the same before it finds a lower area to flow to. And that usually it looks for the easiest path, right? So if you get blockages on the wrong sides, it may pile up and cause the lava flow to go into a different direction. So it's all, you kind of all have to take it with a grain of salt and wait to see what happens. But like I say, the potential is once our main valley is filled up, it's going to flow into the one to the northeast of it. And once that one is filled up, it's going to flow down south and fill that and exit. So we're probably looking at 3 to 4 months, if not a little bit longer, to gain that volume. So it should be pretty good. Anyway, we'll get back to the regular viewing here so people can see the volcano and in its nice bluish colors here. And I will do more yakking and criticism later on. I love the bluish tinge to this. The red and blues looks really nice. Amazing. I didn't realize I had that many people watching. Welcome, everyone. And I wasn't planning on streaming all that long today, so... Falls 3616, you say, I have no idea. What are you referring to, sir? Well, we'll have a look at the other views here as well. Well, Red Rover, we may very well see a breach on that side from this camera angle. If I'm not streaming it, of course, I'm sure somebody else is going to have this one on as well, since these are basically from the public domain there. And I'm sure that you'll be able to see. I'm hoping someone is going to set something up on the backside on that big hill behind it. It would be interesting to observe from that vantage point. But again, that has certain logistics involved with it, of keeping track of things. But when you do look at, you know, how the volcano is actually developed and the physical size of the left side, even though the left side has a lot more backing behind it, if you will, or material that was ejected just over the spout, you know, it is actually, when you can see it, it's glowing back there. So maybe we'll be able to see it a little bit better tonight. Usually when it's glowing, that means it's going to get soft, right? And if you have enough flow into it, it will definitely do something. And yesterday we did watch some of the inside of that left crater, or junior as we call him. We did see a lot of that fall in last night, so it'd be interesting to see if some more falls in and does potentially warm it up enough to to cause a hole through there. Okay, and thanks, Doc Black, as you call yourself. Okay, cool. Thanks for joining us. And thank you to everyone who has joined. Please do hit that like button. It does mean a lot to me. Helps me out in my ratings here and allows me to bring more streams. That's what we want to do, is make more streams and let people watch things on a live basis. Also, if you haven't subscribed, you can do that as well if you like. I don't mind. How long has it been flowing? Well, 16 days, as it says on the screen. It's exactly that. It started 16 days ago. And it's been basic steady flow rate of about 5 cubic meters per second, which is, in terms of a volcano, it's not a lot. The last eruption, I think, in 2010 in Iceland, the volcano was putting out about 15 cubic meters per second flow. And from what I heard, things with over at Mount Etna, at times there's 60 or 70 meters per second coming out, depending on how violent it is. Okay. Okay, and we'll put it back on our split view here for a bit. And I'm going to take a vocal break and shut the microphone off for a little while. I have been running for an hour already. I did say I was only going to run an hour, but I've got 150 people in the stream. This is fantastic. I thank you all for coming, and I'm going to run for another hour, okay? So I will stick around for a little bit. But please do hit that like button and make that thumb up go up a whole bunch. And subscribe if you haven't already. And if I've earned your subscription, by all means, hit that button as well. Thank you. And I will talk to you shortly here while I take a voice box break. Okay, guys, I turned the microphone back on here for a few seconds. Just wanted to talk about what we were just saying here about the gas. I'm going to just remove the logo in front here. There we go. And I see these good people down on the bottom here. And I really think that's not a good place for them. And I'm a little concerned, but they should maybe move to higher ground, unless they're wearing gas masks, of course, and that's always a possibility as well. Anyway, as we were talking about the gas, the potential of gas, and right now we can see the wind is kind of blowing it off to the east, I guess, is where it is. This would be more in the west, on the west side. So we'd still have potential. Our wind flow is coming in and blowing in that direction roughly. So what can happen here is we can get vortices going over. And because of the heat buildup down on the bottom here, as soon as our guy gets out of the way, he's an artiste. Down on the bottom, where that potential area is, what you can end up getting is a stagnant air, or it becomes stationary because of the higher temperature, and your gas will actually end up holding in that area, and possibly, if you have people down there like these good people down here, and I hope that guy's not sitting down because he's tired, the blue one here, it's they're at risk if they don't have any masks on. Anyway, that's just kind of what I wanted to mention there. Kind of tells you a little bit more about the gas that could be there. And it's basically CO2 and SO2, or sulfur dioxide, or yeah, is that what they call it? Sulfur monoxide. No, dioxide. Sorry, sulfur dioxide. Anyway, deadly gas. Either one will kill you. The CO2, neither one, you can really smell neither one. So I'd say your chances are not good. So anyway, didn't want to talk about the gases so much, but we were also looking at the flow coming out of both junior and senior, and they're developing this nice lake bed, and this is the edge of it going along here, and that has a potential of melting through and flowing to fill up the lower areas here. So these people again down here, they are at risk because that could go fairly quickly, and it would basically make them into frizzle sticks or something. But I just thought I'd throw that in. Anyhow, back to giving my voice some more rest. And hope you like that little explanation there. Thanks. Okay, I figure I'd warn you a little bit that I'm turning the microphone on. And we're back here looking at this live from the feeds from Iceland. This particular one is the ruv.is feed. And then the other one, which I'll switch to here in a second, is from the daily. And that's what the two feeds are from. And they're doing a fine job showing where we're at today. And anyway, I wanted to just recap what I was saying earlier about the flow rates and so on, since people have been asking quite a bit. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone did get my observations on it anyway, and hopefully that'll be okay for them. So I'm getting myself ready to do battle again here, just show you real quick where things are and where the potential flow will go. Tell you more about Mount Hot Dog. Well, temperature of Mount Hot Dog is somewhere between 1200 and 1300 degrees Celsius. So if you're planning on roasting your hot dog, I estimate that you need about a 55-foot or 60-foot stick to be far enough away from it before you burn yourself. Oh, anyway, that's enough of the silliness with Mount Hot Dog. Here we go. I'll push the other picture back onto the screen and give you guys the lowdown on potential of where things are from. Right now, the camera that we were actually looking or seeing us from is actually... if we can get it, oh, I need to go back in this single mode for this to work. Okay, there we go. It's actually somewhere down here along the edge. So that's what we call cam 2. Okay, and then over here somewhere, somewhere over here, could be anywhere, is cam 1. That's the one that looks a little bit more bluish. Okay, if you've been paying attention. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about, but what you're seeing when you look across those cameras, you're seeing in through here this way, you can see in towards the back. And this area is a little bit higher back here than the other area to the south. When you're looking from that cam 2 view, you can kind of see that direction behind the volcano a little bit. And this is potentially the lower area and where we will likely have outflow before the one on the east side. So we'll just clear that off real quick. And so if we do get flow coming from the back of the cone, like I said before, it's going to fill that area up first, and then the flow will come back towards the lower opening here, and this flow is going to continue around this center mound that's there and flow this way. Once it gets to the valley here, now this is where the trick comes in. We don't know exactly, and the picture doesn't quite show far enough, but whether it's going to take off and go into the low area over there, and that valley is the on the left side is the one that has potentially over 44 million cubic meters of capacity. So it will take some time to fill it up. Now, the other path, of course, is to go off to through the rocks there and go off to the right, and that's more demonstratable if I clear that off and show you the other map picture here. So as I was saying, it's potentially flowing through here. So if it goes that way, it's going to fill our big lake up. That's that guy. And that's 44 million cubic meters. Okay. Once that is full, then likely it will flow this way. It also does have a possibility of flowing through here or even across here, depending on what happens as far as blockage and the flow of the lava, how it builds up. So there are many, many variables that we still have to look at before we can actually say which area is going to get filled up first. But you can be assured, yesterday I was looking at the 6.8 million is the cubic meters, is what the capacity is of the valley where the volcano is. And yesterday I had calculated roughly about 4.5 million cubic meters have already flowed into it. So I'm thinking we're going to be another 10 days before we outflow. And then after that, it may start happening and heading to the east there and filling up the larger valley. Anyway, that's, and picture credit is on the bottom. I actually don't know whoever you are that took it. Oh, and we're getting some buffering, so I hope most of that came through and we're okay. I see my bit rate has dropped again for some reason. Okay, and the bitrate came back up, so it should be smooth flowing. Hopefully everything came through all right, and you guys are enjoying this beautiful view just as much as I am. It's fantastic to see this. And yes, E.T., happy Easter. 200,000 hot dogs per cubic meter. Okay, well, you have 6.4 million cubic meters. How many hot dogs? Okay, I figured it out since you didn't put it on the screen. It looks like 1,280,000,000 hot dogs. That's 1,280,000,000. Or sorry, 280 billion. 1,280,000,000,000 hot dogs to fill up that valley. Now, if that isn't a fact that everybody needs to know, I don't know what is. Now it's going to take you a while to cook all those. Or you can just put them on the lava thing here and you can have frizzle sticks, as I said earlier. Now, I'm not even going to consider how much mustard and ketchup you're going to need and how many buns. Well, obviously, you're going to need two or a trillion buns. Oh, let's see. What else do we need in there? So a trillion buns. Now, I don't want to go with just cheap French mustard. I like, the good stuff, the German mustard. So we're going to need a whole heck of a lot of everything. Happy Easter, everyone. Yeah, the potential for the hot dog scenario, I don't know what. Just getting that many is going to be a problem, I think. I don't know how many are manufactured in the world every year. 2 trillion and 280 billion, that's quite a few. Volume of 5 cc. Well, you can multiply that big number by 5 cc and get how much hot dog meat you're actually going to need to make all of them. This is fantastic. Oh. Okay, guys and gals, if you haven't hit that like button already, please do give it a thumbs up. It does help in my ratings and things like that. And hopefully things will get better and better and better with the stream. And also, if you haven't subscribed already and you like my content, by all means do subscribe. If I've earned your subscription today, would be really nice. And as I was saying before, I intentionally only wanted to make this a 1 hour stream. And we've been running 1 hour and 52 minutes almost. And I am going to shut it down at the 2 hour mark. I do have a bunch of things I have to do today. So it being Easter Sunday, of course. So those are important things to get at. Oh, that sure is an amazing looking volcano. And that lava, just so you guys know, that lava that's underneath the crust that you've seen during the daytime, it's still in its liquid state in there. So it doesn't cool down that quick. It gets a crust around it, and it's like basically a big jelly bean with a hot interior, but a hard outside shell. And that can have some potential danger, as we were talking earlier about being up close to it on the edges and things like that, where you can have an outflow happen very quickly, and if you're close by, you may not be able to get out of the way, that type of thing. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I have heard there were some injuries after people got lost and things like that, and tripping and hurting their legs and not watching where they're walking and things like that. But hopefully everyone is going to fare well, as they are tourists looking around, of course. And for the last 5 minutes, I think I'm just going to let this play off by itself. I will say thank you very much for coming and watching the stream. I appreciate all of you showing up. Thank you very much. And I will be running more streams, but they will be shorter in duration due to work that I have. So they'll probably be in the evenings and only for about an hour long. And we may just give commentary all the way through those if things go well. But anyway, I hope you guys got a little bit out of it today with the potential of where the lava is going to go. If you missed all that, you can always go back in the stream and watch it afterwards. And, you know, for 10 or 15 minutes, it won't hurt. Other than that, I will say thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for all the likes and the new subscribers. Really do appreciate that. Thank you all for coming. You take care, and we'll see you on the next stream, which will probably be tomorrow night. Bye for now.